we feel really, really good about the new student athletes that we have coming to Auburn. And number one, they're what we consider to be really, really good football players and really, really good citizens and good people. So as we targeted and we started out, you know, the recruiting process, you know, we wanted to, you know, we wanted to bring in the best guys for all, and we feel great about the quality of the class. We feel like we targeted needs that we had on the football team, and you know, we addressed those needs, and we feel very fortunate that we were able to land some of these top recruits. Our recruiting class is hopefully not complete. We're still recruiting a few guys out there that we hope to be able to convince them to be Auburn Tigers as well. But that being said, we're extremely happy about the 20 that we've got, and you know, it's been a great day. It's been a great day for Auburn. So very, very happy with how the class turned out.
Questions? Gene, have you ever gone into a signing day with as many undecided guys as you had today?
Well, today was very unique. Today was a very unique day, and I think, you know, we always, Philip, as you know, we always start targeting all the players in the state of Alabama first. And that's where we started. We signed 7 from the state, you know, in this signing class. We always start here and we work our way out. And wherever we have to go, you know, we're going to go to get players. And this was a year where we were recruiting them from a lot of different places, and I think even down to the last minute today, you know, we were in some battles. Some we won, some we lost, but it was a very unique year in that regard, in my opinion, because as we tallied up everything last night, there were so many guys that could have went both ways. You know, but again, we're gonna be happy about the 20 that we got.
Talk about the with a situation like this, really options. You don't really have options if kids want to wait until today.
Well, I think when you decide, you know, when you recruit the best of the best. I mean, you know, when we target players, you know, we don't just target the best player; they also have to be the right player. But you know, so many of those guys are national recruits. I mean, everybody in the country is recruiting. So, you know, with this day and age of the media and how a lot of guys want to wait till the end, you know, in a lot of instances, you don't have a choice. You know, but again, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that we had a lot of young men that stuck with Auburn from the beginning. You know, they committed to us early. These are national top recruits, great football players that never wavered, they never switched. You know, they've been Auburn men since the beginning, and since they made their commitment to us, with some of them date all the way back to the summertime. And so I don't want to lose sight of those guys, because there were a few today that obviously wanted to, you know, take it down to the wire, but there's a lot that didn't. And I don't want to, again, because they weren't on TV, you know, announcing their final desire of school that they want to go to. I don't want to lose sight of all the great ones that we've signed and stuck with us, you know, for a good part of a year now.
Gene, when you started recruiting this class, what did you see as the biggest need on offense and biggest need on defense?
Well, you know, offensive line was obviously something that we feel like we need to numbers-wise shore up, and that was one obvious need for us. You know, we after that, you know, because of the years, the past couple of years of recruiting, it wasn't like we needed, you know, to have a great number of any other position. It's kind of spread out, 2 here, 3 there, 2 here, 3 there. So we kind of spread out both offensively and defensively where we needed to go from there. So, you know, it was kind of one of those classes where, you know, we were going to go out and recruit the best guys, you know, for a lot of different positions, you know. So offensive line was obviously a big target, and we needed to shore that up. But, you know, otherwise I think it's kind of spread out.
How do you think you guys did on the offensive line?
Well, I think that, I think we're in the right direction. I don't think there's any question we're heading in the right direction. And, you know, again, there's a couple others out there that, you know, we'd love to see become Auburn Tigers. And so, but again, I feel like we're definitely on track.
Talk about the decision to take a second quarterback, Jonathan Wallace.
Well, you know, with Barrett leading, you know, and that being a situation where, you know, if we don't sign a second quarterback, we're really sitting with three scholarship quarterbacks. You know, that was something that, you know, we just felt like we really needed to address. And Jonathan Wallace obviously is a local guy. He's had a lot of great success at quarterback. He's a very athletic guy that, you know, again, has really blossomed at that position. So we were very happy to see that Jonathan was interested. And, you know, so we made the move, and we think it was a really good one.
Gene, there was some highly rated guys that you could have gotten early, and by going after the guys you went after, some of those guys were gone elsewhere by the time it came down to it. Is that a concern, balancing that, so when you end up not getting either one?
I'm not really sure exactly what you're referring to, Philip, but here's what we do. We target what we think is the best fit for all of them. And we start at the very beginning. And again, it doesn't matter really where they're at. It just matters that they're the best fit and the right fit for what we're trying to do. We want great Auburn men here. They're great football players. And so, you know, obviously we're going to go after the best of the best. That's what we do. And in recruiting the best of the best, some you're going to get and some you're not going to get. But we feel very good about, and I don't ever feel good about standing up here talking about the ones we didn't get. That's you know, it's like talking about teammates or whatnot of the guys that are gone. I want to talk about the guys that are here. So again, you know, just kind of going back to the quality of this class, we feel great about. The ones that we did not get, that were top recruits, which there, you know, again, there's a lot of really great players out there, and some we signed, some we didn't. But you know, we're always going to do it the same way. We're going to start in the state. We're going to recruit great players. We're going to move outside the state, and you know, if you miss on a guy or he chooses to go somewhere else, then we're going to go to the next guy. But there's no concerns, you know, from my part on how we do it. I feel really good about the class.
I got my question was, these guys waiting so long, and so many of them waiting so long, that whereas if they would have told you 2 weeks ago,
I'm with you.
they weren't coming, that,
Yeah, you know, Philip, that becomes a little, play a little Russian roulette in there, to, you know, to some degree, but, you know what, you just have to use your best judgment. You know, it's all about relationships and how, you know, how deep in it are you? You know, how good is your shot? You know, there's some risk and reward things, you know, that you have to contend with, you know, particularly when you can sign 25. You know, and when you can oversign and some of the things of that nature, but it becomes a little challenging. There's no question about it. But you know, again, it comes down to, you know, how good of a relationship you have with these guys and where you think you're going to fit and where you think you're going to fall. So, but it's definitely challenging.
Gene, speaking of the 25, this is the first year of the signing cap. Did you find you had to be maybe a little bit more cautious or a little bit more cognizant of that number for now and also for moving forward next year? Because, you know, if you want to count back next year, mid-year.
Yes, great question. And yes, the answer is emphatic yes. You have to be very judicious about making sure that you don't oversign. And because there's no forgiveness there. So that's certainly part of the equation. Much more stringent and much more, not that you didn't pay attention to it before, you always paid attention to it. But obviously, you know, where you draw the line in the sand now is much different. So you really, really have to be very judicious on how you proceed, how many scholarships you send out, and also, going back to Phil's question, where you feel like you really are with a lot of those guys. Again, the 25 limit, it's challenging.
Gene, there's been a lot of talk, not just this year, but I guess the last year, about four-year scholarships versus year-to-year scholarships, and many of the Big Ten schools voluntarily chose to make all their offers this year four-year scholarships, and Florida just said that it did the same, which I think is the only SEC school to do that. Was there any talk about doing four-year offers versus year-to-year offers, and do you think that's going to be a trend going forward?
I don't know how that's gonna pan out going forward, to be honest with you. It's gonna be really interesting to see how that unfolds. Everybody's got different ideas on it. Certainly if one school chooses to do it and another doesn't, you know, obviously it creates, you know, somewhat of an advantage or disadvantage depending on which one you are. But I think that as it unfolds and moves forward, there will be more discussions and talks about it. But it's definitely going to be something that will be brought up as we move forward. That's for sure.
Did you sign anyone to multi-year scholarships or offer?
We signed everybody to the exact same scholarship.
Is it just a 1 year?
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about the Jay Price coming in from Illinois as a transfer fullback? Why you decided to do that?
Well, number one, he's a really good football player. There's some, you know, there were some things in his home life right now that wanted to bring him back this way. He's a young man from this state, obviously. He was a very good football player at UMS Wright coming out. And so, not only was he a good player coming out of high school, he was obviously a very good player in college. So, he's a guy that, you know, can play the fullback position. You know, if we choose to use a fullback or an H-back or somebody of that nature, he certainly can do that. He's proved that on the collegiate level. So, great kid, definitely an Auburn-type kid, and that's why we chose to sign him. And he was really, really excited about coming to Auburn and growing up in this state. Again, I just think you know, it's important when you get opportunities to get good football players from this state. You jump on those opportunities, and he was one. So it really worked out well for us, and the timing was really, really good.
Gene, I know they didn't have much time, but what kind of impact did the two coordinators have in the recruiting process?
Well, you know, the great thing about this class is that, you know, the majority of these guys, you know, were already in the class. And again, you know, I got to give a lot of these guys so much credit because they never wavered. They stood strong to their commitment to Auburn. And so I don't think that, you know, again, I don't think that really was much of an issue. Both coordinators jumped in with both feet and really went out there and re-recruited everybody in terms of getting to know, you know, all the guys that were both committed and guys that we were trying to get committed. So they both did a great job and got to know these guys in a short period of time the best they could. So I don't think there was any sort of negative impact.
Do you think the length of the NCAA investigation in you guys, do you think that impacted this class in any way?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I just don't think that anybody even talks about it.